Hey, legends in the making! You're tuned to WWE Uncovered, bringing WWE to your screen daily. Hit that bell, and let's start. The December 8th, 2025 episode of WWE RAW started like any other, but it ended with a sequence that no fan will forget. LA Knight, a performer known for his charisma and resilience, was scheduled for a high-profile match against Logan Paul. On paper, it was a chance for Knight to shine, maybe even regain momentum in the eyes of the WWE Universe. But what unfolded after the match made the episode feel heavier, more intense than a normal wrestling night. After the bell rang, Knight faced an onslaught from multiple opponents in a chaotic scene that went far beyond the scripted action of the ring. While the action stayed within the realm of performance, the energy was electric, tense, and raw. Fans in the arena and watching at home were glued to the screen as the storyline took a darker, more dramatic turn, emphasizing that even in a staged environment, consequences and stakes matter. Chaos escalates outside the ring. The intensity didn't stop at ringside. The action spilled out into the arena surroundings, with interference and chaos raising the tension to near-crisis levels. Security tried to intervene, but the storyline momentum was clear. Knight was facing a formidable, overwhelming challenge that pushed him to his limits. The camera captured every angle of his struggle, every moment of near escape, and every gesture of resilience. This wasn't just a match. It was a cinematic portrayal of vulnerability, strength, and determination. The fans' reactions reflected that, with audible gasps, cheers, and a sense of concern for the character they had come to care about. By taking the story outside the ring, WWE reminded viewers that the drama of wrestling can extend beyond traditional boundaries while keeping the performance art intact. The symbolism of struggle. The segment was more than just physical conflict. It symbolized the stakes of the ongoing narratives, the lines between right and wrong, and the moral weight of the wrestlers' choices. LA Knight's struggle wasn't about wins or losses. It was about facing overwhelming odds and showing what it means to endure. The audience witnessed his vulnerability, his determination, and the very human side of a performer often seen only in scripted triumphs or flashy entrances. Moments like this elevate wrestling storytelling because they add depth and context to a character's journey, making their victories and defeats feel meaningful. Fans online immediately reacted, analyzing not just the moves, but the emotional storytelling behind them, which shows the power of narrative-driven wrestling. Roman Reigns, leadership through presence. Following the chaos, another moment made the night unforgettable. Roman Reigns, the leader of the WWE hierarchy, appeared in a calm, measured scene at the hospital to check on Knight. There were no threats, no promos, just a quiet presence that conveyed authority, care, and awareness. Roman's visit was a reminder that leadership in wrestling isn't always about dominance in the ring. It's also about stewardship, guidance, and watching over the larger story arcs. The visual of Knight on a stretcher, bandaged but alert, contrasted with Reigns' composed demeanor, created a cinematic moment that resonated with fans. It was storytelling in its purest form. Emotion conveyed through presence, posture, and context, rather than dialogue or moves. Stakes and consequences. What makes this type of storytelling effective is the weight of consequences. Knight's apparent injuries and the aftermath of the match created tension for weeks to come. Fans speculated about what would happen next, from potential feuds to character evolution. Will Knight return with a renewed sense of purpose? Will he adapt his persona after such a humbling, intense experience? Moments like these matter because they give fans reasons to invest emotionally. They go beyond flashy moves and focus on narrative arcs, character growth, and anticipation. By giving Knight a moment of vulnerability, WWE created an opportunity for a comeback story that feels earned and authentic, building suspense in a way only long-form storytelling can achieve. Character development and fan psychology. This storyline allowed fans to connect with the characters on a deeper level. LA Knight's perseverance and the symbolic gesture of Roman's visit created multiple layers of emotional engagement. Fans were not just watching a match, they were watching a story unfold about resilience, morality, and the consequences of choices. This kind of layered storytelling encourages active engagement. Fans analyze, predict, and debate what will happen next. It's a reminder that wrestling is as much about psychology and narrative as it is about athletic performance. The balance between character development and crowd reaction is crucial, and the events of Raw 2025 illustrate how WWE can use both to elevate its product. A darker, grittier era? The events on this episode of Raw may hint at a shift in tone for WWE storytelling. By exploring vulnerability, struggle, and high-stakes scenarios outside the ring, WWE is pushing the boundaries of how wrestling narratives are traditionally conveyed. The storyline wasn't about violence for its own sake. It was about framing consequences, building suspense, and giving characters meaningful arcs. For fans, this creates a richer viewing experience, full of moral complexity and emotional investment. It also opens the door for exploring darker, more nuanced storylines, where victories are hard-earned, relationships are tested, and personal growth is central to the narrative. Future possibilities for LA Knight. Looking ahead, the possibilities for Knight's character are numerous. He could return as a reinvigorated hero, emphasizing resilience and determination, or explore a more complex persona shaped by the recent challenges he faced. Feuds with past adversaries, alliances with other wrestlers, or even shifts in his alignment could all play a role. Each choice carries narrative weight and sets up long-term storylines that feel grounded in the character's journey rather than arbitrary booking decisions. This careful approach ensures that every match, promo, or appearance resonates with fans and maintains the emotional stakes established in previous episodes. The role of social media and fan engagement. The fallout of this storyline played out not just on television but online as well. Fans immediately took to social media to express concern, excitement, and speculation. Discussions ranged from whether Knight would return as a changed performer to how the larger narrative might evolve with new alliances or rivalries. This engagement underscores the importance of crafting moments that are not only entertaining in the moment, but also spark ongoing conversation. By giving fans material to analyze, predict, and debate, WWE ensures that its storytelling extends beyond the arena and creates a continuous, immersive experience. Balancing drama and care. One of the key takeaways from this episode is the importance of balancing dramatic storytelling with respect for performer safety and audience perception. The events were intense, but they were framed in a way that highlighted tension and stakes without compromising the performer's well-being. By focusing on narrative, emotion, and symbolism, WWE created a compelling story that resonated with fans while keeping the spectacle safe and controlled. This balance is critical for maintaining credibility and sustaining long-term fan engagement. Storytelling beyond the ring. Ultimately, the December 8th episode of Raw showcased how wrestling can transcend the confines of the squared circle. It reminded fans that powerful storytelling doesn't rely solely on moves or flashy entrances. It comes from creating stakes, exploring character growth, and emphasizing moral and emotional depth. Roman Reigns' quiet presence, LA Knight's vulnerability, and the aftermath of the match all worked together to create a multi-layered narrative that will influence storylines in the weeks to come. By giving fans a story with real consequences, WWE reinforced that wrestling can be as emotionally impactful as any other form of entertainment. The power of redemption and anticipation. As fans anticipate Knight's return, the emotional weight of his journey becomes central to the viewing experience. Will he come back with renewed vigor, or will his path take a darker turn? How will the story evolve with alliances, rivalries, and moral choices in play? These questions create a narrative tension that keeps viewers invested. When Knight eventually returns, every promo, every match, and every interaction will carry the emotional depth established by this episode, making the eventual payoff that much more satisfying. Conclusion: Wrestling as storytelling. This episode of Raw illustrates the power of wrestling as a storytelling medium. By combining athleticism, character depth, and narrative stakes, WWE created a sequence that was compelling, emotionally resonant, and memorable. The events surrounding LA Knight and Roman Reigns highlight how consequences, character arcs, and audience engagement can transform a match into a story that lingers long after the show ends. Fans are left not just cheering for their favorite performers, but thinking, analyzing, and feeling invested in the unfolding drama. Moments like this remind us that wrestling isn't just about spectacle. It's about telling stories that captivate, challenge, and inspire.